Starting today, essential business travelers between Singapore and China are exempt from rules that require everyone else to serve quarantine periods of up to 14 days. This comes under the Singapore-China Fast Lane Agreement, and that's part of plans to slowly ease restrictions on flights and resume trade amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
And for more insights, we're joined by Kurt Wee, President for the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. Kurt, what are some feedback that you've received over the application process that individuals have to go through before they can fly the Singapore-China Fast Lane?
Well, first of all, I think this green lane is something that the business community is really hoping for because, as we come out of circuit breaker, access to big markets, large markets are very important to businesses in sort of restarting their global trade, global activities. And a lot of Singapore's businesses, China is, for a lot of Singapore businesses, China is a very important market for them. People that do procurement from China, people that factories from China, people that are closing deals, and biotech company that needs to do clinical trials in China. So the list goes on, and this green lane is very, very helpful for businesses in being able to sort of restart it. I think it would still evolve around essential travel. People only go for essential travel. The airfare is not cheap, and at the same time, there's no insurance coverage as well. And there's an application process that requires an overseas sponsor in China or agency there to sort of sponsor your application there. So people are not that familiar with that process yet. But, I think, we'll need a period of run-in. And hopefully within a very short period of time, we'll have a lot more provinces that are opened up between Singapore and China.
Yeah, you mentioned a few challenges there, perhaps for some, Kurt. Do you see any others that businesses might face during this process?
The main thing is really, businesses would look at, uncertainty of traveling because, you just come down from a circuit breaker and you got to travel. So what should I wear? What's the application process like? Is it straightforward? And cost aside, insurance is not covered. So if you're hit by any, if you're hit by any chance you get COVID, then you're on your own in terms of the cost itself. So for businesses, I think a lot of them would still stick to essential travel, but I think they will start traveling. We are hearing from the ground, businesses that own factories there, they have teams there. They need to go there to do their work. And there are also businesses. A lot of them depend on their procurement from China. They need to go there to do inventory inspection. They need to close deals. So it is. I think in the short term, the next 1-2 months, it still stick strictly to pure essential travel. But hopefully that activity will pick up after that.
Kurt, you mentioned that factories procurement. Are there specific business types that would need to see more of such a travel during this period? And why is that?
Well, China is really the manufacturing center of the world, and for many Singapore manufacturers, they may have a small just-in-time factory in Singapore. They may have a factory in Malaysia, but normally their big volume producer is the one in China. And that applies to the Chinese market and also to the global market as well. So you imagine the scale of some of these businesses when they actually put that investment, build that factory, have that headcount there, and they have to be there to supervise the operation. We also have a lot of companies in, for example, the construction industries that actually do their procurement from China, and even manufacturing companies that are co-manufacturing with China factories. They have to travel there as well. So those that can do their meetings on Zoom, they will go. But I think where it's operational centric, where they need that face-to-face, where they need to be on-site to manage workforce and operations, they have to go. Yeah, because it's been many months that they've not been able to go to China.
All right, thanks very much for that, Kurt. Kurt Wee, President of the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises.